Everyone talks about emotional detachment. So today I want to talk about something bigger: emotional freedom. So if you are single and have experienced loneliness, or the frustration of doing everything right but still not finding love, or the fear that love may not happen for you again, listen, because singleness doesn't have to be an emotional mess. So today, I care deeply about helping you clean that up so you can start fresh to attract the love you deserve. So, how do you master your emotions as a single person? And I have a good news, because whether it's anxiety, frustration, anger, shame, loneliness, sadness, although all those emotions may be different, you tackle them all the same way. I call it my emotional mastery framework for singleness, which has two main steps. 1. Neutralize. The problem arises when an emotion surfaces. Let's say you experience anxiety. Your heart races, maybe you have sleep issues with racing negative thoughts about ending alone. What happens is your emotion controls you instead of you controlling it. You identify too much with your emotion, literally become it. And how does it translate into your words? Many people will say, I am anxious. And I don't know if you can sense it if you repeat after me, I am anxious, the tension in the body. And maybe you have heard that line somewhere. You can't be anxious because you can't be an emotion. And I couldn't agree more with that person. And here I'm going to add a layer of understanding you may have not heard anywhere else. And if you do in the future, remember you heard it here first. You can't be an emotion because you are not an emotion. You are a physical, emotional, and spiritual being. So how could you identify with an emotion? How could you be anxiety? That is wrong, actually. That's a fallacy of your mind. So let's reestablish the truth. How could you replace it? You could say, I feel anxious, which is more accurate as anxiety is a feeling. Or even better, I am experiencing anxiety. This is how I talk to myself. I experience an emotion. Do you feel the difference? The single word experience creates distance from your emotion. It decreases the emotional load from I am anxious to I feel anxious to I experience anxiety. That's how powerful words are. So my first tip to neutralize your negative emotions is language shift. Create distance with your words. The second one, and I'm sure that there are plenty of strategies to change your emotional state. And so if you have your own way of neutralizing your emotions, please drop into the comments so we can uplift and learn from each other. So my second tip is information shift. I view emotion as a piece of information that tells me about my deep need. Information, it makes it logical and neutral. Now, your emotion is something that you process through your mind instead of drowning into your heart, protecting your emotions. So if I experience anxiety about my future, I translate it into, now I have the fear of finding no one and ending alone in my old age. Notice the grounded and neutral tone. And I say, now I have. I make it temporary, like a passing experience, because that's what it is. Both words and tone matter. What I'm doing, and you can imagine it, is I am extracting the insight and getting rid of the negativity of the packaging. I get rid of the emotional static around it. Whew. That is first step of emotional freedom. Which leads me to the second step. After neutralize, you elevate. How can you just not be neutral, but be empowered and nourished by your emotion? How do you turn it into an ally? And that's very important here, because I feel that many people get wrong about emotional detachment. Actually, to be honest, I barely understand that concept, as emotion is part of you. It's part of your human design. So how can you get rid of or cut off or numb out something that is part of you? It's actually self-negation and unhealthy. Emotion was not meant to be removed, but to be understood, to relate to, and even befriend. So, how do you elevate? I view emotion not just as a piece of information, but a valuable one. You see, I create a positive association. I restore my relationship with emotion because emotion carries instructions about what to do next. So you turn emotion into action that can lead you closer to your desired love destination. Emotion literally becomes useful. So take our anxiety example. If you have the fear of finding no one and ending alone forever, what is the instruction? What could be the action? Maybe you could create a profile on a dating app. Very simple. Or this weekend, instead of isolating at home on your couch or working from home, you could go out and grab a cup of coffee to expose yourself to love. It's simple. You don't need a massive list of activities. Just one action is enough to create an exit in your mind and break the loop of negative thoughts. That's what I mean by elevation. Turn your emotion into information, instructions, and action. So in conclusion, to master all your emotions of singleness, you only need to do one thing. Follow the emotion mastery framework. Neutralize, okay? Detach yourself temporarily so you can collect yourself in order to elevate, to befriend your emotion. So instead of sapping you, it now nourishes you and starts pushing you forward. So the next time someone tells you to detach yourself from your emotion, remember, you are not made to detach. You are made to be free. Now, let's be honest. Single people experience a lot of negative emotions, but the problem is that we bury them under a ton of work and distractions. How comfortable that is, right? That was my case recently. So if you want to explore my story of how I dealt with loneliness using my 2 steps framework, then go check this video next.